tall. He's got a lot more.
All right, good evening. Call the meeting to order. First item is to approve the agenda. I'm going to file a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that. Oops, sorry.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, approved minutes from May 16, 2019. Anyone like to file a motion to approve the minutes from May 16, 2019 Planning Commission minutes?
I second the motion.
He should make the motion.
Oh, sure. I move to approve the minutes from the May 16th meeting.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. New business, CDA concept plan review. Ms. Smith?
Thank you, Chair, members of the Commission. Tonight we are starting review of the CDA's multifamily and senior living facility. So tonight's just a review of concept plans, so nothing formal, no formal recommendation of the City Council. Some feedback. Allison Strike with the CDA is here. I'll ask her to come up after a brief presentation. She'll give a little bit of information about the CDA and then the project from where she sits. So any feedback tonight to her that could help this project is great. So location, where are we located right now for the project? So on the screen, the site that is proposed for construction is outlined in the yellow color. So we're just south of Carver Elementary, Carver Station, and south of Carver Crossing, the current apartment complex that's on the same site where this project is proposed, directly east of Copper Hills and north of the new Oak Tree development. So as I suspect some of you know, there's a little bit of history that comes along with this project and how it relates to Copper Hills, the Park and Ride, and Carver Crossing. So it starts in 2010 when the CDA purchased 36 acres of land at the intersection of Jonathan Carver Parkway and Ironwood Drive. The CDA proposed a project there at that time. It was the CDA offices, City Hall, and then a 60-unit multifamily project. That project did not end up moving forward. Next, it was before the group in 2012, the CDA submitted a concept plan for multifamily housing and single-family housing with the Park and Ride. So that's when Carver Station, the discussions began in 2012. The single family that I mentioned ends up being Copper Hills. So in 2013, the CDA applied for a PRD, or a planned residential development, which we do a lot of with this group, for single family homes, Copper Hills, and the apartment building, Carver Crossing. At that point, the CDA sold the northeast corner for Carver Station, which operates today, so the big bus station in town with a parking lot. The CDA also then sells to Mattamy for construction of Copper Hills. In 2013, 2 building sites were platted. So the first is what becomes Carver Crossing. The second is Outlot B, which is the site that we're talking about tonight. 2014, the CDA sells just over 2 acres to Ron Clark for construction of Carver Crossing. 2015 goes through Planning Commission and City Council for approval. 2016, the site is constructed. So a couple of FAQs that are going to be important as we start this process. So thinking about how this relates to the work that we do here together. So in the comprehensive plan, the property that we're talking about tonight is guided medium density. So that included land for Copper Hills, Carver Crossing, and Outlot B. So over the 3 residential units, it came to be a medium density residential guidance for the comprehensive plan. Something else to think about is that this property has already been rezoned, so it was rezoned with Copper Hills and Carver Crossing, so it currently sits at R2 PRD, which does allow for construction of a second building. The proposed project that we're going to be talking about tonight is a mix of independent senior and multifamily. I have a site plan included in a slide that shows a general layout. Again, this building pad was platted with Carver Crossing. It's currently being held in an outlot. And the information that was approved by the City Council in 2015 was really specific about additional units that could be added. So this number was reviewed by the Met Council to make sure it met the guidelines of the comprehensive plan and the medium density residential, and that magic number is 103 additional units are open for the site. So here's a photo of the comprehensive plan, the location circled in yellow. You'll see that there are 2 shades of that light yellow. So the very light yellow is single family. You'll see that the area of Carver Crossing and the property just south is a shade darker, which indicates the medium density. And moving into the site plan. So this site plan gives you an overview of the current Carver Crossing building, which is north, as well as the current parking lot. And then it shows the next proposed building. So it shows 3-story apartments, 103 units, with underground parking that's accessed on the southwest corner, and an additional 112 additional parking stalls. Other things to note is there's some additional ponding that would be added for the project. Bike racks would be added near Hartwell Drive, and then sidewalks would additionally be added with this as well. Here's a more technical site plan, so it shows the 2 wings. You'll see further on the left, so the shorter L is the area that would be occupied by seniors. So that would be the senior wing. The center of the building has a senior lounge, a community room, fitness, restrooms, lobby, offices. There's also a tot lot proposed in the rear with a patio for residents of the building.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
Did you say the senior wing, the amenities next to the senior wing, is that for the whole?
Correct.
Okay.
There's shared
All right.
amenities in the center.
Thank you.
And then the longer L here is the multifamily. So the CDA is still working out number of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom studio, so don't get your heart set on anything that's said tonight, but it will be a mix of the 3. So again, senior located here, multifamily in this area. So this project is unique that it's 2 different housing types being proposed in the same building. So I know from a few meetings with the CDA, they're trying to be thoughtful about the shared spaces, so getting some multi-generational facilities in there that the 2 groups could cohabitate happily. And renderings of the exterior of the building. Again, this is really concept phase, so this could change as we continue through, but just an example of what the project could look like. So we have been working to be pretty proactive with outreach for this project. So we held an open house on June 24th, so just a couple weeks ago. Something that was a bit unique to this one is that we sent this mailer to 575 households, so we're trying pretty hard to get people involved, get some input about the project, not let it be a surprise by any means. So at the June 24th meeting, we had 5 residents attend the meeting. A couple from the current Carver Crossing building. It was held in the Carver Crossing building, so it was easy for them to stop by. Generally, the feedback we got was positive. There was a gentleman who had just purchased a home in Oak Tree that gave some feedback that was really well received by the CDA, that he requested to have some buffering between Oak Tree and the second building. So if there was ponding or a berm or trees, so we're going to try to work that into the plan, so anticipate seeing some additional information as we continue through. Something else I would like to note is that there is a page on the city's website. So if you're watching at home and you're interested in this project, want to follow along, I've been trying my hardest to keep this page updated. So it's cityofcarver.com/carver-county/CDA. So check back here often to keep track of the project. I'll have meeting dates up there as well as links to the meeting. So we'll link this one after the meeting tonight. That's the information I have. Allison, if you want to come on up. I'm going to ask Allison to give just a brief overview of the CDA, what they do, and then we'll open it up for discussion.
Good evening, Planning Commission members. So I'm Allison Stroik. I'm the Deputy Director of the CDA. Our mission is to provide affordable housing and foster community and economic development. So we own and manage about 620 units of rental housing that all are affordable or subsidized. We have about 20 or 30 units of affordable home ownership through our land trust program. We have some rental assistance programs. We're a HUD certified housing counseling agency, so we work with, we do pre-purchase counseling, first-time home buyer class, rental counseling, homeless counseling, and then post-purchase counseling as well. And then we recently hired a new director of community and economic development, which we're excited about. That position's been vacant since about 2015. So we'll see where that goes. We have an initiative where the cities can apply for grant funds from the CDA, up to $7,500 for a planning grant and up to $60,000 for a community development or redevelopment grant. I believe Carver has had a planning grant and also a redevelopment grant.
Correct.
So that's just in a brief nutshell if you have any questions about the CDA before I move on to the project.
You said you hired a new economic development director,
Yep. Yep.
and is that person in the position working right now?
Yes, she's been there for maybe 6 weeks. 7
Okay,
weeks.
and who is she?
Her name is Elise Durbin. She used to work at Hennepin County, I think for maybe 3 years, and before that she was at Minnetonka.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Now can we ask questions about the project?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay. There's going to be underground parking in this building as well, right?
Correct.
And do you know about how many units?
I believe I might have printed that out and brought that with me. 106.
Oh, good.
And then we have right now 114 above ground parking spaces.
Okay, and maybe I'm wondering about the other building. Does the other building also have a substantial amount of underground parking?
Oh, underground? I'm
Yeah.
not sure how many they have underground.
I don't know the exact number, but yes, they do
Okay.
have underground parking.
Okay, and then I just want to, Aaron, I think I heard you correctly that this project does meet all zoning and land use codes,
It does, yes.
so it won't require a public hearing?
No.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you. I'm excited about it.
It's good to hear. We are too.
I know.
I guess I'd like to follow up as well. So I was at the open house and
Yep.
just saw the presentation. It was very good, and the resident feedback was, like Aaron said, generally positive. I just did have a clarification. So Aaron had mentioned that the layout was still in flux slightly, but is the total number of units fixed at 103, or could that vary slightly?
Correct. No, we are sticking at 103.
Okay. And then, do we have any feedback from the water district on the current plan, or is that still too early on?
Sure. So it is pretty early, but when this project was being master planned, so when they considered Copper Hills, Carver Station, and then this site, ponding was determined for the entire site, so I don't think it'll change
Okay.
drastically, but it has been a few years, so some water regulations do change. They'll do full review at the time.
Good,
that we
okay.
do as
Just, adding a lot of parking is, all of our previous presentation last minute impervious surfaces and just making sure that there's adequate stormwater runoff and
Right.
that. Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's nice to get a little diversity too. I think we've been improving single-family homes, so it'll be nice to get some more options for residents. So we're very excited, or at least I am. Thanks.
Thank you.
I have a question also. So why is senior living and other housing together?
Well, I think it's sort of an intergenerational approach. Originally, we had talked about having 2 separate buildings on the site, but due to the number of units that are allowed to be built on the site, just from a financial standpoint, it's really not feasible. So there are some other examples of projects like this in Minnesota. I believe there's one in Grand Rapids, where you've got a senior on one side and general occupancy on the other. And so we've been talking about for example, a community room, about having potentially like a library in there and being very conscious of having programming where the seniors can come together and maybe read with the youth in the building or something of that nature, but having programming where we bring them together.
And what are is there a difference in design? Is the senior part going to be universal design and the other part not?
It's probably going to more be unit sizes. We're not going to,
I see.
we'll have studios.
Well, then hopefully there will be universal design in the senior side. You need to have things.
Right. So studios, probably 1 bedroom's no bigger than 1 bedroom plus dens in the senior side, whereas on the general occupancy, it would go from a studio all the way to a 3-bedroom.
Okay.
And with the senior housing that's going in the old bus garage, is that a duplicate of senior housing?
Sure. So the CDA is proposing independent senior, so no services, where Carver Ridge is assisted living and memory care, so more full service, where this would be for 55 or better is the age requirement, where people can live independently in these units.
Can I have one final question?
Yeah.
So the other apartment building is considered low income, and this would not be considered low income because it's 80% of the median income.
Well, so the other building is a tax credit project.
Okay.
So tax credit projects, and I hate using percentage of AMI, 60% of area median income, and I don't know what that is off the top of my head, what that income is. But our projects typically target 80% of area median income to 100%, and 100% of area median income right now for a household of 4 is $100,000.
So to break that down a little bit, to take out some of the jargon that we use, so to live in the multifamily side, either an individual or a household can make up to $75,000 per year. So anyone who makes under that can live in the multifamily side, nothing above.
What about the senior side?
The senior side's 100,000 because the seniors.
100,000, okay.
Yeah, yep.
So did you say you don't know like what the square footage of the senior apartments will be? They're going to be 1 bedrooms, right?
The senior side, so it looks like studios would the range between studios to 1 bedroom plus den would go from about 506 square feet to about 913 square feet.
And we don't know what they're going to rent for?
I don't have those numbers
Okay.
with me. We do have a market study though.
Okay. Thanks. Just curious. Not that I know any seniors. Oh, yeah, you are sitting next to me.
Just for clarification purposes, in the packet we received in SD 120, kind of laid out the entire map area and so forth. This is obviously south of Carver Elementary, not south of Jonathan Elementary.
Correct, that was a typo.
Okay. Very familiar with the area, and the other question would be is, I think you had it up there, Aaron, the kind of layout with the different grant activity. One of the areas was a public bike rack, as far as residents be able to utilize that, as well as adjacent neighborhoods and so forth. From an upkeep perspective, if there's a bike that sat there forever or for a long period of time, bent frame, bent wheel, whatever the case would be, I guess whose ultimate responsibility would that to kind of make sure that that area was maintained and upkept?
That would be the CDA.
Okay.
The CDA is going to be the manager of this.
Correct. We will own and manage the building.
Good. Because
Is
I
that the-
know that the CDA manages their properties very well.
Is that the current case with the current building on site?
Carver Crossings is owned by Ron Clark and managed by Stephen Scott.
Okay,
But we do own and manage all 620 of our units.
got it.
So there's a tot lot. What other playground kind of facility would be available? Are they
That's-
going to the development? Like, whose playground is that other one?
The playground in Copper Hills or Olson Park is a public playground.
And then the school is obviously just a block north, right?
Correct, yes. And this obviously has some trails, but there will be an additional one constructed that will move people from the south building up as well.
I don't have any more questions.
No further questions?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming, Allison.
Thank you.
So next up, this project will go before the city council on August 5th. So they'll also review this concept plan, and then we'll take it from there.
Great.
Next item on the agenda, any communications?
I don't know if I have any. Development is crazy right now in Carver, so thank you everyone for your patience, whether that be with power outages that have been challenging, traffic. The developers we have in town are doing an outstanding job getting back to us if we have questions, concerns, comments. So if you have any, let me know. I'm happy to pass them on. In this moment, I don't have anything for an August agenda. I'll keep you posted on it, but I don't have a huge stack of things that we need to review. We're in talks right now. Quick Trip is looking to come in the next couple months, so we'll see their platting preliminary and final on the United Property site. Oak Tree, Lennar is coming in for phase 4 of their development, so we've reviewed phases 1, 2, and 3. There's an additional 19 lots, so not too many, but it'll round out the planning process for their project. Previously reviewed the song concept. Dan Lottis, the city engineer, and I have been meeting with Summergate pretty regularly to iron out some things, the feedback that you provided, as well as staff comments with the number of streets that they had in there felt pretty overwhelming for a lot of us. So changing that a bit. Those are the big things that we're doing right now. So I'll let you know about the August meeting. Right now, just pencil it in with the opportunity to potentially cancel. But that's what I've got.
Just a quick curiosity question. Any idea how many building permits have been pulled thus far this year?
So new homes, Brenda, I'm going to look at you and you can shake your head aggressively if I'm wrong. Okay. It's somewhere in the 50s right now.
Wow.
I would say we're tracking maybe towards 100 this year.
That's great.
Yeah. Oak Tree is really taking off, but a couple of them are like Meridian Fields, which is just south of 212. They're having to do quite a bit of utility work too, so getting Monroe Drive in there was a big hurdle. Now they're starting the hurdle of utility work. So yes, I agree. It looks like it should be more, but I think once some of those streets go in, those will take off too.
So a question to that as well on maybe time-wise, whatever, but from Jonathan Carver Parkway, obviously the new Monroe Drive is kind of in with the new turn lanes and so forth.
Yes.
I believe that the perspective on things was to obviously put a four-way stop light there as well. Obviously from a county perspective, what's that timeline for that to go in there?
Sure. So that one's going to be interesting with when the Quick Trip opens and then when the JCP project starts. So we don't want Quick Trip to put in a temporary light that would be there for 4 weeks to have it taken out and replaced with a permanent structure. So we're tracking those two projects pretty closely just to avoid having temp signals are pretty expensive. So if we can avoid it and wait until the full reconstruct of Jonathan Carver Parkway triggers it, that's ideally the way we'll go. So to be determined, but something that's on our radar.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing that Erin's not going to tell you is that she has a new title since you last saw her. So she is
Hey,
now...
Courtney, can you talk into the mic?
I absolutely
I'm having a
can.
hard
I'm
time
sorry.
hearing.
I'm trying to multitask. She, so if you didn't hear me, the one thing that Erin won't tell you is that she has a new title since you guys last met. She is now our Community Development Director, which I'm not quite used to yet. So she has a few more responsibilities, some direct reports, and a new gig within the city of Carver. So
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll also note that our next meeting will likely be in the new city hall. So even if that happens in August, we'll be in the new building, which will be really exciting.
Yes.
We're also starting work to plan an open house. So getting the community in there, opening up the whole space so you can come check out the offices, where we work, our conference rooms. So we're thinking late this summer, early fall, we'll open up the big patio doors in the front and we'll have a little party.
Finally.
Yeah.
Us old people don't need an elevator, not a,
Anything else?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.